Once upon a time, in a vibrant African village named Kaba, that thrived on ancient traditions and mystical beliefs, there lived a young girl named Yuri. Yuri is a beautiful and kind girl who got her kind nature from her mother. She was known for her radiant smile and her kind heart. When Yuri's mother was pregnant with her, she had helped an old woman whom she met on her way to the market. The old woman, after thanking her, prayed for her. She also told her that the child she was carrying was going to be a great seer. She told her that great men and women would come to her for assistance. She advised Yuri's mother not to cut her hair. Yuri's life was not always filled with joy and laughter. Her father, a man bound by tradition and prejudice, had abandoned her and her mother when she was just a baby. The reason for his abandonment was simple. Yuri was a girl, and in his eyes, she was not worthy of his love and care. He had married another wife whom he believed would give him a male child. So Yuri's mother was left to take care of her all by herself. After Yuri was born, her mother, remembering the old woman's word, did not cut her hair, so Yuri grew up with dreadlocks. Life became incredibly difficult for Yuri and her mother. They were shunned by her father and his relatives, left to fend for themselves in a world that seemed to care little for their struggles. Yuri's mother, a strong and determined woman, worked tirelessly to provide for her daughter. But no matter how hard she tried, the weight of their circumstances was a heavy burden to bear. Yuri, seeing the toll her mother's efforts took on her, decided to take matters into her own hands. In order to lighten her mother's load and bring some semblance of joy back into their lives, she devised a plan. She was going to pretend to communicate with the gods. She would charge them a token in exchange for her services. The proceeds she would use to help her mother and other people struggling in the village. Yuri, unaware of the web she was weaving, began pretending to communicate with the spirit world. She adorned her hair with cowries in order for her plan to look real. One day, while on her way back from the market, she had found a royal bead lying on the ground. She knew immediately that the bead must belong to the royal family. In Kabar, the royal bead is passed down from generation to generation. So Yuri knows how important that bead is. Instead of returning it to the royal family, she quickly took the beads and hid them in the forest. Meanwhile, at the palace, the queen mother has been searching for those beads. They have searched every inch of the palace, and the beads was nowhere to be found. Unbeknownst to them, the palace maid who had gone to the stream to wash the queen's clothes mistakenly packed the beads which had fallen out on her way without her noticing. After Yuri had dropped her bag, she quickly rushed to the palace and demanded to see the queen. When the guards inquired for her reasons to see the queen, she announced to them that the gods had sent her to deliver a message to the queen. When she met with the queen, she did her fake abracadabra, danced around for a while like a real seer would do. Then she said to the queen that the gods said the royal beads are missing, but will be found in 3 days' time. The queen, on hearing that, was shocked. No one else knew about the beads except for herself and her chief maid. Yuri urged the queen to have patience until the 3rd day, as the gods specified. As she was leaving the palace that day, she smiled to herself. She has given the queen 3 days because she knew that there would be a dance festival on that day and villagers would be allowed into the palace. She would use that opportunity to sneak in the beads, then take the queen to the place she had hid it. On that particular day, Yuri did exactly as she had planned. The beads were found in a flower vase, not without her doing her usual abracadabra. The queen was elated with joy. She began to spread the news of Yuri being a gifted seer. Everyone who witnessed what happened believed that truly Yuri has become a seer. Yuri, before leaving the palace that day, the queen gifted her with so many gifts, including cash gifts. That was how Yuri became the village seer. Word of her supposed gift spread like wildfire throughout the village. People from far and wide came seeking her advice, offering generous donations. Sometimes, by a stroke of luck or a chance occurrence, her suggestions miraculously solved the problem of those who sought her aid. The villagers marveled at her apparent connection to the supernatural, showering her with gifts, praise, and admiration. It became a game for Yuri. At one time, while walking in the pan, she had seen Kema, the village thief, tying a goat in the bush beside her farm. Without making any sound, Yuri spied on him as he tied the goat. She knew immediately that someone would be looking for their goat in the village. Seeing this as an opportunity to make money, she hurriedly left the farm to the village. She wandered around the village until she saw a small group of people gathered in front of a particular hut. Upon inquiry, she gathered that the owner of the hut was looking for his goat. Yuri immediately got into her seer mood. Abracadabra, abracadabra, she danced around as she mumbled some fake incantation. Then she said to the hut owner, "Go to the farm beside the stream. You will see your goat tied by a tree." Someone was immediately sent to the farm, and to the amazement of everyone gathered, the goat was found. Everyone was happy and they praised Yuri. The hut owner, in appreciation, gave her money and other items. How far could she push her lies and still keep the villagers enthralled? However, when her deceit failed to yield the desired results, Yuri's imagination took a darker turn. She would spin more elaborate lies, crafting intricate tales to cover up her initial fabrications. Her lies multiplied like wildfire, consuming her conscience as she sank deeper into a web of deceit. Though Yuri is deceitful, she also has a compassionate heart. She uses the proceeds from her deceitful ways to take care of her mother and the poor and the needy in her village. This earned her more admiration from the villagers. Yuri's mother, a wise and observant woman, saw the change in her daughter and had heard about her supposed gifts, warned her of the dangers of falsehood and the consequences it would bring her. But Yuri dismissed her mother's concern as she was blinded by her desire for attention and admiration. However, unbeknownst to Yuri, a powerful and mischievous ancestral spirit had been observing her actions from the shadows. This spirit, known as Igu, was known for its love of pranks and its disdain for dishonesty. Igu is also known to cause madness on anyone that displeases it. It first frightens the person before striking the person with madness. Igu rarely shows mercy to its victim. Igu decided that it was time to teach Yuri a lesson. Yuri started feeling a strange presence around her. Sometimes when she's walking on a lonely path, she always feels someone is trailing her or watching her. Unbeknownst to her, Igu was determined to teach her a lesson. One fateful day, as the sun dipped below the horizon, the mischievous spirit appeared before Yuri. With a mischievous grin, the spirit bound Yuri's tongue, rendering her speechless. For days, Yuri struggled in silence, her eyes filled with frustration and regret. The villagers whispered in hushed tones, wondering what had befallen the once eloquent Yuri. No one knows the solution to her problem. This left Yuri's mother sad and confused. Filled with concern for her daughter, Yuri's mother sought the guidance of a medicine man in a neighboring village. After the medicine man has consulted with the gods, he assured Yuri's mother that there was no need to fear, for the mischievous spirit had only sought to teach Yuri a profound lesson. He revealed that after 7 days of silence, the spirit would release Yuri from its grip, and she would be able to speak once more. He advised Yuri to confess her deceit to the villagers. True to the medicine man's word, on the 7th day, as the sun painted the sky with shades of gold, Yuri's tongue was set free. She felt a surge of relief and gratitude as she realized the depth of her deceit and the pain it has caused. On that fateful evening, as Yuri sat in her small hut, a gust of wind swept through the room. The candles flickered and danced, casting an airy shadows on the wall. Suddenly, the room fell silent as Ego materialized before Yuri, a mischievous glint in its eyes.
Young Yuri,
Ego said, his voice echoing through the room.
your actions have been both noble and deceitful. I have watched as you used your supposed gift to bring light into the lives of others. But true enlightenment cannot be born from falsehood. I will spare you because your intentions were noble.
Yuri's heart pounded in her chest as she realized the gravity of her action. She looked into Igu's eyes, her voice trembling. Please, I never meant to cause any harm. I only wanted to help my mother and those in need. Is there any way for me to make amends? Igu, impressed by Yuri's sincerity, smiled mischievously.
Yes, young one, there is a way. I shall take away your false gift, but in return I shall grant you the true sight of a seer. From this day forward, your predictions shall be genuine and your guidance invaluable. However, you must confess and apologize to the villagers.
With a heavy heart, Yuri sought out the villagers, overwhelmed with shame and regret. Yuri gathered the villagers. She fell to her knees, tears streaming down her face. She confessed her lies, her voice carrying the weight of her deception, and her voice trembling with remorse. The villagers, initially shocked and hurt by her deception, listened attentively, their eyes filled with both disappointment and compassion. Though initially shocked and disappointed, gradually their hearts softened and they recognized the bravery in her confession and forgave her. Yuri learned a bitter lesson that would forever shape her life. She understood the power of honesty and the destructive nature of deceit. The powerful, mischievous spirit who has been watching them saw in her a young girl who had learned from her mistakes and had the potential to become a force of positive change. And having seen Yuri's sincerity, he decided to give her the powerful gift. He touched her forehead and gave her the gift of the greatest healer and seer before vanishing into thin air. Immediately, Yuri was filled with a newfound clarity. The world around her seemed brighter, as if a veil had been lifted from her eyes. She became the greatest seer of all times. Her predictions were accurate, her guidance a beacon of hope for those who sought her wisdom. But this time, there was no deceit, no pretense. Yuri used her gift to bring genuine solace and enlightenment to those in need, and her heart was filled with genuine joy. And so, the young lady who once pretended to be a seer transformed into the greatest seer of all time. Yuri's journey taught her the power of compassion, the importance of honesty, and the true meaning of her gift. She vowed to use her ability to uplift others and make the world a better place. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed our story. Please like and subscribe to our channel for more stories.